Yesterday, I stumbled upon a statistic that just stopped me dead in my tracks. A whopping 85% of people who walk out of church on Sunday admit they still treat the barista, the neighbor, the ex-spouse, and even that aggressive driver in the next lane like they never heard a single word of the sermon. It's pretty wild, right? We can quote, "Love your neighbor as yourself," with the best of them, but by Tuesday, we're often caught flipping someone off in traffic or simmering with resentment. Let's be honest for a second, some people just feel impossible to love. And if you're anything like me, try harder hasn't exactly been a winning strategy. It feels like we're constantly hitting a wall, frustrated that our intentions don't match our actions. What we really need isn't another pep talk urging us to just do better. We need a clear, actionable blueprint. A step-by-step guide for navigating those tricky, frustrating, and sometimes downright infuriating interactions. And guess what? These 10 verses, they are that blueprint. If you genuinely let them sink deep into your heart and mind, they will literally rewire how you approach and treat people, and yes, that includes the person you find most challenging to deal with. This isn't just about being nicer, it's about a fundamental shift from the inside out, powered by something far greater than our own willpower. The foundation, love starts with God's move, not our mood. 1. Romans 5:8, but God demonstrates His own love for us in this, while we were still sinners, Christ died for us. Think about the timing here. It's absolutely crucial. God didn't wait around until we cleaned up our act, got our lives together, or became perfectly lovable. No. He loved us at our absolute ugliest, when we were far from Him, steeped in our messes. That's a game changer, isn't it? It means the pressure is off us to generate some perfect feeling before we can extend grace. You don't have to conjure up warm fuzzies for that toxic coworker, or the family member who always pushes your buttons. Instead, you just have to channel the same incredible, unearned grace that already rescued you. God's love for us wasn't conditioned on our worthiness, it was freely given. And if that's how He loved us, then we're called to mirror that unconditional, unearned love to others, regardless of their flaws or actions. It's not about how they make us feel, it's about remembering how God chose to feel, and act, towards us. 2. 1 John 4:8, whoever does not love does not know God, because God is love. This isn't just a nice sentiment, it's a profound declaration. John doesn't say God has love, like a trait He possesses alongside others. He says God is love. Love is the very essence of His DNA, the core of His being. So, when we treat people like projects to be managed, problems to be solved, or obstacles to be overcome, we're actually completely out of sync with the very source of life and love. It's like a branch trying to produce juicy, ripe apples without being connected to the trunk of the tree. It's exhausting, right? And utterly fruitless. The tree isn't struggling to produce fruit, it just does because it's connected to its life source. In the same way, when we stay deeply connected to God, who is love, genuine love for others naturally flows through us. It's not about trying harder to generate love, it's about aligning ourselves with the one who is love, allowing His nature to become ours. Knowing God means living out His love, you can't claim one without actively practicing the other. Love in action, the non-negotiables. 3. 1 Corinthians 13:4, love is patient, love is kind. These two words, patient, kind, seem so simple, yet they cover about 90% of our daily friction points. Think about it, traffic jams, toddler meltdowns, waiting for a delayed text response, or dealing with a slow internet connection. Patience is that crucial pause button that keeps a tense situation from exploding. It's choosing to breathe instead of react, to understand instead of condemn. It means giving someone the benefit of the doubt, even when they're driving you absolutely crazy. And kindness? That's the cherry on top, isn't it? It's the intentional gesture, the gentle word, the act of listening that makes people feel truly seen, valued, and understood. It's not just avoiding harm, it's actively seeking to bless. The full passage of 1 Corinthians 13 also reminds us that love does not envy or boast, it is not arrogant or rude. So, patience and kindness are just the starting points for embodying humility and truthfulness in how we interact, steering us away from self-centered reactions. 1 Peter 4:8, above all, love each other deeply, because love covers over a multitude of sins. Did you catch that? Peter says, above all. Not sometimes, not when it's convenient, but above all. This means above being right, above getting revenge, above proving your point, above nursing a grudge. I once held on to a grudge so tightly, for so long, that I actually started getting stress headaches. It consumed my thoughts, my energy, my peace. The day I finally decided to cover the offense, not excuse it, not pretend it didn't happen, but simply stop advertising it, stop replaying it, stop letting it define my relationship with that person, the headache left. And more importantly, my obsession with their failure, and my own victimhood, vanished with it. Love doesn't ignore wrongdoing, but it prioritizes grace and reconciliation over punishment and condemnation. It means extending grace that covers others' faults, mirroring God's own boundless grace. This isn't about being a doormat, it's about choosing forgiveness and releasing the burden of resentment, allowing God's unconditional love to guide our responses. 5 John 15:13, greater love has no one than this, to lay down one's life for one's friends. Now, Jesus isn't literally asking you to die on a cross for your buddy, unless you happen to be in a very specific, heroic situation. He's asking you to die to the need to win every single argument, to always be right, or to always have the last word. Sometimes, laying down your life looks like letting someone else save face, even if you know you're correct. It looks like putting their needs, their feelings, their perspective above your own desire to assert dominance. It's choosing to listen instead of interrupt, to affirm instead of critique, to serve instead of demand. This ultimate sacrifice of Jesus models the highest form of love, and we are called to imitate it by putting others' needs above our own, even when it costs us a little bit of our pride, our time, or our comfort. It's a daily, small crucifixion of self, for the sake of another. Love when it's hard, the radical stuff. 6 Luke 6:27, but to you who are listening I say, love your enemies, do good to those who hate you. Notice Jesus adds, to you who are listening. Because let's be real, this command isn't just hard, it sounds absolutely insane to our natural human instincts. We'd much rather rant, complain, or seek revenge. Loving our enemies goes against every fiber of our being when we feel wrong. But Jesus challenges us to love beyond our natural inclinations, to show kindness and goodness regardless of whether it's reciprocated or deserved. So, try this, the next time you want to fire off a nasty text, or vent endlessly about someone who's wronged you, pause. Instead, pray one single, genuine sentence of blessing over them. It doesn't have to be long or flowery. Just a simple, God, bless them with peace, or, Lord, help them find what they need. You'll feel your soul unclench in real time, I promise. It's a tiny act of rebellion against bitterness, and a massive step towards radical, godlike love. 7 Romans 12:20, if your enemy is hungry, feed him, if he is thirsty, give him something to drink. In doing this, you will heap burning coals on his head. Hold on, burning coals. That sounds a bit vengeful, doesn't it? But Paul isn't promoting some twisted form of revenge here. He's promoting disarmament through unexpected kindness. Kindness, especially when it's undeserved, is the most confusing and disarming weapon you can wield against hatred. When someone expects hostility and receives grace, it messes with their script. It forces them to reevaluate, perhaps even to question their own animosity. It turns opponents into an audience, not just watching your actions, but perhaps even beginning to hear your message. It's a powerful, counterintuitive strategy that can break down walls and open doors that anger never could. It's choosing to respond with grace, even when it feels like they've earned the opposite. 8 Matthew 5:46, if you love those who love you, what reward will you get? Do not even tax collectors do that? Jesus is really pushing us past our comfort zones here, isn't he? He's highlighting that loving the lovable, your friends, your family, your fan club, is just basic human networking. Anyone can do that. Even the tax collectors, who were despised in that society, loved the people who loved them. There's no divine reward for simply reciprocating affection. The real challenge, the real reflection of God's heart, comes when we love the unlovely, the unlovable, the difficult. When you choose to show kindness to someone who offers you nothing in return, or even actively works against you, you're not just being a good person. You're actually photocopying God. You're reflecting His character, His boundless, unconditional love, to a world that desperately needs to see it. That's where the reward lies, in becoming a living, breathing image of divine love. Love that lasts, the unbreakable thread. 9. Jeremiah 31. 3. I have loved you with an everlasting love, therefore I have continued my faithfulness to you. Everlasting isn't just a poetic word, it means no expiry date. God's love doesn't hit a plateau, it doesn't suddenly file for divorce, and it certainly doesn't ghost you when things get tough. His faithfulness isn't dependent on your performance. When you internalize this profound truth, that you are loved with an eternal, unwavering, committed love, you stop panicking when human relationships falter or people walk away. His love is the bedrock, the unshakable foundation upon which everything else rests. Human relationships, as beautiful and important as they are like the decor in the house. They can change, they can break, but the foundation remains. This understanding empowers us to love others with enduring commitment, knowing that our own ultimate source of love and security is constant. 10. Romans 8:38-39. For I am convinced that neither death nor life, nor anything else in all creation, will be able to separate us from the love of God. Let that verb sink in for a moment, nothing can separate. Not your worst mood, not their worst betrayal, not a global pandemic, not political upheaval, not personal failure. Once you are truly convinced, deep in your bones, of this unbreakable, inseparable love from God, you are finally free to risk loving others. Why? Because even if they reject you, even if they hurt you, even if they walk away and never look back, you cannot lose the one love that ultimately matters, the one love that defines your very existence. This profound assurance provides the strength and security needed to love others steadfastly, even in the face of hardship or disappointment. It's this security in God's love that liberates us to love courageously, generously, and without fear. The so what? So, here's the golden thread woven through every single one of these verses. Every instance of true, transformative love starts with God's initiative and then invites our response. You don't generate this kind of love from scratch, you channel it. Think of it like a garden hose hooked up to Niagara Falls. The pressure, the sheer volume of water, isn't your job to create. Your only job is to stay connected. The moment you try to generate that force on your own, you'll just run dry. But when you're connected, the power flows effortlessly. So, when you wake up tomorrow, don't try to conquer all 10 verses at once. That's overwhelming. Instead, pick just one. One verse that resonates, one truth that pricks your spirit. Pray it for 30 seconds. Seriously, just 30 seconds. Ask the Holy Spirit to make that verse bubble up in your mind the moment your kid spills cereal all over the freshly cleaned floor, or your boss adds another insane deadline, or your ex posts yet another passive-aggressive meme on social media. That's how real transformation works, my friends, through small, daily downloads of divine truth, not through grand, often forgotten yearly resolutions. It's about letting God's love flow through you, changing your perspective and your reactions one moment at a time. It's a journey of consistent connection, not a sprint of self-effort. If this reframed love for you, if it gave you a fresh perspective, please hit that share button and tag the one person you're actively practicing these truths on this week. Drop a comment below with the verse you're claiming for yourself, and let's cheer each other on in this journey of loving better. And hey, For more Monday resets that keep Sunday's wisdom from staying stuck in the parking lot, make sure to subscribe.